Okay.
It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Yes. Did that work? Oh, girl, you always be like. I almost wore my glasses tonight. You looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's true. I was like, no, I didn't see the room.
I'm in a funnel.
Great. Getting cozy. I hope I'm not like flashing. You are. We see it all. Oh my God. I love you guys. I love you. Surprise.
Oh, next.
Oh, go ahead. I'm going. Hello. Wait, this
Are you ready for me?
Cool.
Right?
I gotta get another video. We need the video. Hi.
Too much! OMG!
Wait, y'all. What is it? So you can lose their hair time with mine.
There's
Gotta have some bloopers. Outtakes.
You can apparently hook up to yeah, so there's like a one.
John, I'm doing this just to cover my pale
Cardi
legs.
B brand?
Huh?
What's the Cardi B brand?
Oh, I'm kidding. I
Oh, it's Fashion Nova.
It's not fancy.
We need to do
Nova.
everything out there too with the flash. Pretty
I can't remember the title of it.
Cardi's the opposite of top high-end.
Cardi's just living life. She's taking things as they come.
But I don't want to
Cole has never had alcohol before.
because I don't feel comfortable.
You gotta try it.
Try it tonight.
I
Can't say nothing wrong.
Little cheese, never hurt nobody.
So cute.
Alright,
No. Okay.
What's up?
Joy knows the way to my heart. Wait, how do I open this? That was my arm.
Sponsored by Triscuits.
Don't we win?
Hashtag ad.
We can get mega video. Thank you. Man, that ring is real. He designed it himself. No way. He designed it himself. Yeah. What a good fiance. I know. All I told him was I like the
Let's have a.
Alright, everyone pull up a pepperoni. Take your flag. Alright. Just a quick toast to our amazing night. I would say never above you, never below you, but always right beside you.
Aww, she said
that. Love you. Never above you or below you. I love that. Bam.
Okay. And Jack won. It's not a big deal for like the pros, but for the
Well,
anyway, so Jack, so it's at Richard. It's this big charity thing. It's at Richard Branson's Island. Wait, who's Jack? My fiance. Anyway, so that you have to take boats to your island before you get ready for dinner. This is so random.
Go back to your island and get
You
ready.
have to go. Well, I didn't bring clothes. Everyone else did, so I had to take the boat. And then they ended up winning. And the Jack was, they were like, "Oh, how have you had?" Like they were interviewing him after. He was like, "Oh, I've had so much fun with my fiance." And then Richard was like, "Well, Laura, bring Laura out. Where's Laura? Bring Laura out." And everyone started texting me. They were like, "Where are you?" Everyone on the island was waiting on me. I was back at the other island, like putting on mascara. I was like, anyway, awkward. So awkward. So anyway, yeah, I had to get my outfit on. Okay, so we're
in the south.
At the beginning.
We're in the Bible Belt. Everybody wants to be like the modern version of the love story. But it's nice to know that your family is there and they support it and they've got your back and his back too. That's really special.
Slow clap for Jack.
Yeah, Jack! Woo, Jack!
I love it.
Rustic is like, oh, you can
I want bohemian, but I have some pictures actually saved. I want to
I don't know if you would my fave.
massive, covered with like white and I want nature because I'm like I love nature.
Okay, guys, I'm the newest here to Charlotte, 3 years and freshly off the boat. Thank you, thank you. Well, tell me, so Laura, you kind of grew up just right around the corner. What is McAdenville?
McAdenville is magical. When you, it is. I mean, it's the experience. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. You're kind of in a line, but the experience, you have to go with people you love. So it's great. We're all perfect. You have to go with those you love because it really, it's kind of a time commitment a little bit. You're really, to see the whole thing, you're going to stop, you're going to look, but it's so fun and you look around and you just really get in the spirit of Christmas. I remember being young and my mom and dad would pile us in our little minivan and she would have little Christmas snacks like gingerbread cookies and hot chocolate and we would wrap up in blankets in the back. My brother and sister and I were in the back and then we would just look at the Christmas lights and then a recent story actually. One of my best friends, Paige, lives like a minute from McAdenville, and I was at her house. So she and her brother decided they were going to take me to McAdenville because my family was out of town. We were like, perfect. Well, they thought that we had like a right amount of time before we needed to leave. We waited in line for about, I want to say 2-3 hours. Got up to the very front. We were like, yes, we're finally here. And then they were like, it's 11 o'clock. Turn the lights off. That's not a joke. Yeah. So that was my most recent. But I know this one will be a lot better. Amount of time.
We'll make it before 11.
Yes, but now Christine knows a lot about the history of McAdenville.
Yeah, this city, even though it is technically called McAdenville, it is also known as Christmas Town, USA.
Oh my God.
I know.
Hallmark movie.
I just saw an article, you guys, that said North Carolina is the second most Christmas spirited state in the nation.
No way. That's beautiful.
So it's good we've got a Christmas town, right?
Yeah.
But McAdenville is a historic town too because it used to be a mill city. And their big factory was yarn. And like a lot of mill towns, when we picture them now, we kind of think of these towns that have hit like hard times, right? And they're really struggling. But McAdenville has found a really great way to involve their community while also staying above that kind of mill city slump that we're familiar with. So in the 40s and 50s, the big manufacturer owner family, the Farrs, they started to introduce all these new celebrations. And one of them was the big Yule log parade, which for a little while included actually setting logs on fire in public spaces.
Nice.
We don't do
Who
that
knew?
anymore.
Setting things on fire for
They
fun.
might have learned the hard and that actually came from England. They went on a trip and they saw this British tradition and they said, let's go back and have all of our manufacturers in this town celebrate the Yule log parade. And so now we still have that. And then also, Mr. Farr decided it'd be great to start decorating the city with lights. It was a morale booster. And it was really important because it allowed the community to take ownership of something while also feeling very cheery, right, these cold months. So we will see primarily red, green, and white lights. That's the tradition.
Okay.
But nowadays, they take several weeks to unhinge like all the lights from each other. Can you imagine lighting a mile and a half of town with Christmas lights? It's hard enough to do.
I wonder what their electric bill is. Do they like get a little like help with that?
Yeah, hire people.
I don't know if they hire people. I think it's a community, just like volunteer event.
So
Yeah.
Hallmark, right?
Don't you don't want to light up your house. That's right.
I was like, what's my electric bill to be to live here?
How many
exactly
people
right.
do you think come here?
I would say probably
Millions.
600 to 750,000 people.
Oh, wow.
McAdenville every year.
Really?
It is. It's great, and it's great publicity for these small towns because they still exist. They're still here, and they're doing things really well. Sometimes better than the big cities, right?
Sometimes I want to go
That's
live
why
in
we're
a
going.
small
So
town.
we can outlaw
City girl moves to a small town.
McAdenville more recently has gotten themselves kind of linked up with the greenways and the different trails. So now, if you don't get there for Christmas, you can go in the spring.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
Hiking. Yeah, absolutely. So there
We should go hike Crowder's Mountain together with you.
We're going on over 60 years of this tradition.
How long ago was it founded?
It was founded in the 50s. No one knows for sure when.
The
'cause there are like,
1950s?
yeah, the 1950s. There are like 3 different stories that kind of get tossed around, but ultimately it boils down to the FARs. And as legend has it, as part of the morale booster, Mr. Farr himself paid for all the extra electricity bills so that the town could do it.
Joy, that's so nice of your
Grandpa.
family.
Thank you for your family.
Every wedding has a love story. It's more than just 2 people. It's family and friends coming together to celebrate their love. Each wedding consists of the same elements, yet each is unique in their own way. Just like love stories, it's common threads that weave lives together. It's family and friendships and passion and soul. It's couples forging their path through life and love. Giovanni Films captures the essence of these moments, the energy of the day, and the spirit of each couple as they rejoice in the happiest day of their life. Giovanni Films. We tell love stories.
Merry Christmas. We're in McAdenville, North Carolina. Merry Kakalaki. North Kakalaki. We're in North Kakalaki.
Now that is different from South Kakalaki.
So, I will start with my worst Christmas gift. I don't know if this is terrible or not, but anyway, I never thought my parents would actually get me an animal if I asked, but I was on Santa's lap, and I was like, I want a stuffed animal, like a kitten stuffed animal, but he misheard me, and he said, oh, you want a kitty cat? And I said, yeah. So then my parents had no choice, because I was like, Santa said he's gonna get me a cat. So they got me a cat, and then I was obsessed with him, and I played with him, and then all of a sudden, like I woke up the next day and my whole face was swollen, my eyes were swollen shut, I was itching everywhere, and my mom was like, Laura, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, where's the cat? Come to find out, I'm severely allergic to cats. Yeah, we could. I was too in love with him. We couldn't get rid of him. So he just passed away a few years ago. But best/worst present, just because I found out I had an allergy to cats. And then best present hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it's one I've received. But I plan on Christmas Eve this year. I painted my sister. It's a picture of us from the back. And it's our heads touching in a robe, and mine says bride, and hers says maid of honor. And then I'm gonna have it hanging. We're going to a cabin in the mountains. So when she gets there, I'm gonna have it hanging on the wall, and there's gonna be a little box. Yes, and a little box that'll say, "Will you be my maid of honor?" That's so beautiful. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about it. Yeah. I flew home with it today. I was like, please don't break this. Please. That's so sweet.
There's 7 kids in our family. You know, when you grow up under the poverty line, no one believes me when I tell them that now, but I'm like, Christmas was always one of those wild cards where, you know, people would ask my mom, like, so how's Christmas looking? And she's like, there's no Christmas. Either my dad got laid off or they were just crazy Christmas stories. But one of my most favorite Christmases were one of my mom's friends asked her, like, hey, like, how's Christmas looking? And she was like, honestly, like, Christmas isn't happening this year. My dad just got laid off from his job. And so she's like, we want all of the kids to write down their most favorite, like, things. So we were, like, going through the newspaper and, like, circling stuff, right? And we were just dreaming. Like, me and my sister used to joke about, like, you know, dream big, expect small. Yeah. You know, that was just how we grew up. And, you know, looking back on Christmases past, it's like, you know what? You pull people's names off trees or you adopt people for Christmas, and like we were that family. So we wrote down all of our, you know, favorite things, and we were going through the newspaper and, you know, clippings of magazines and all these amazing toys. And so we gave it to my mom. We were like, here's our list, you know, like dream big, kind of expect small. Well, my mom's friend called her and said, get the kids out of the house for a couple hours, like we're coming over. So I was like, okay. So we ended up like going to the park or something. We come back, or it was Christmas morning. They had like an entire like moving truck came to our house, and they bought every last thing on our Christmas list. And that was just one of the most amazing Christmases I can remember. You know, like that makes me just feel like there's so many kids that don't have Christmas, and I don't know, like I just look back and I'm just so grateful for people who invested in our family. I mean, I have, you know, my youngest brother dances for the New York City Ballet. I've got a brother in the NFL. Like, from what people see now is what they see now, but you know, we really struggled growing up, and we were that family that people invested in and gave an opportunity to. And so, like, you got to meet my brother in New York, and you know, I just look at people, you know, who are like, hey, like, do you have a family that like needs help for Christmas? And like, I've been on the receiving end of Christmases past, and so now, like, we joke about like, you know, we've paid our hoopty dues, and I just want a car with 4 hubcaps and like working air conditioning and, you know, the whole 9 yards. But Christmas has always been a struggle in our family until now. We're like, I value presents. I want your presents more than something that I can open, and that's what means the most to me these days. But now my brothers in the past, you know, probably 5-10 years, we were like, hey, let's go to the Dollar Tree. And they bought a big like sack, and they used to call it Shaking Santa's sack. And it was always like gag gifts that I can look back and remember when we used to laugh about, like, oh, like everyone's got to look a little trinket or something, and they used to like dress up and be like, we're shaking Santa's sack. But we've caught it all on camera, and it's just been a hilarious you know, piece of our story. But I would say that Christmas where that family adopted us, and they bought every last thing on our Christmas list, and I'll never forget it.
I'm on a journey, and it's very important to surround yourself with like-minded people and to really embrace that. There's a certain level of vulnerability that is required when you take this path, and it's very, very hard to do it alone. So getting in front of people and getting with people who are on the same path as you and who are willing to pour into you and you're willing to pour into them, rising tides rise all ships.
And I find these retreats to be definitely part of my life. I have to come to these to refresh, to rest my soul. Rachel has a very unique way teaching people how to see within themselves and how to dream big and live beyond what you think that you can live.
And society has not really prepared us for this new world that we're living in today, where we have the opportunity to create our own businesses and serve humanity in a way that lights up our soul.
I'm in a place in my life where I just feel called to take that next step spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. In my professional and personal life, I feel there's always something that you can get out of these experiences and you can learn from.
But to be around people who you know and you can see and they're pushing these boundaries and doing all these great things, it pushes you to think further. And so what I want to get out of that is to allow myself to dream bold, be bolder, dream bigger, and then walk into that path instead of thinking this is them and this is me. That's no, I can be this too, and let me blaze my own trail.
So many entrepreneurs are looking to do just that, but they don't have the path. They don't know the path. They don't necessarily know how to become an influencer who then can go out and make a difference in the world. So they're seeking. What I do and what lights up my soul is to help them become mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually an influencer so that they can step out into the world with confidence, take their gift, their skill, their craft, their message, and share it with that confidence with the world in a way that will impact and make a difference in the world. If you are ready to elevate your life, contact me to be a part of the next travel adventure.
This winter has been so much fun. I mean, we've had such a wild winter that we're like, let's go ice skating. It was like, I was sweating at the Whitewater Center, y'all.
I have to admit, I was really jealous of y'all in your cute Christmas outfits.
Oh.
Like ice skating, that sounds like my perfect
And
night.
it was like 70 degrees.
How was that?
It was so much fun.
Fun. Like, so this U.S. National Whitewater Center, I think we're one
Olympians hang out.
one of two in the whole country, right? Like, there's only a couple around the whole country. And so other than what they have hiking, they have cross-country biking, whitewater rafting, canoeing, kayaking, zip lining, like so many things to do.
Wow.
Now this year they put in a skating rink. So on this 1,300 acres, I think it was. It started in 2006. Have you ever been on the Whitewater raft?
I don't like to get my hair wet.
I don't either, but I did it
I
this
have
year.
hair problems. That's like, don't touch my hair.
And I got just a real tiny bit wet. It was so much.
Do you like wear a helmet?
Yes.
Really dress up all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not so bad because I can't see.
So they built this really cool on like the opening of where you get onto the whitewater rafting ice cream. And they have this like little mini bar in the middle where you can get
Hot chocolate.
but you can get alcohol too.
You have like a little prosecco toast. We did.
And wait,
Check out the video.
we got our first Soul Sister squad member that day. Our first Soul Sister squad member. Yep, she's on her video. She's on our video, so she was so
Check out the
excited.
video. Wait, we should watch the video.
Again, check
Go
out
watch
the video. Here's an idea.
That's a good idea. Check out the video. Oh, she's so smart.
I'm the first member of the Queen City Soul Sister Squad. Woo!